What is going on, Carolina fans? This is Blake Kennedy with another episode of the Real Carolina Football Show. And in this episode, I wanted to break down who exactly I thought would be the top breakout player on offense for Carolina this year. Obviously, I have him up right here. His name's Mazeo Bennett. And if you haven't seen him play, if you really look at his game, he is set to break out this year. Had a big freshman season with 30 receptions for 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 11 yards per catch. And I look for every single one of those numbers to go up this year. And I'm going to break down some film showing exactly why I think that Mazeo came in right away and was ready to play early because he understands how to play receiver and the nuances and the toughness that it really requires to play slot receiver in the SEC. Mazeo's made of something that you can't teach, you can't coach. This player is extremely tough, has incredible hands, has a mindset that is going to carry him into a long career in the NFL, as long as, unforeseen things like injuries don't happen. This player is going to be a good football player for a long time for potentially multiple teams. Carolina did a good job of getting him in. Highly recruited kid out of Greenville. Can really play in the slot. He is a specialist in the slot, and I'm going to break down and show exactly what weapons he possesses to make him an extremely good target for Lenora Sellers this season. He's going to work the middle of the field. He's going to work the zones. He's going to be good against man coverage. He blocks incredibly well. And he consistently made plays in key situations. And I look for him to continue to do that throughout his career. Sellers has a really good connection with him on 3rd and 4th down. So trusting him in those situations is something that doesn't usually happen for a freshman, especially when you have some older players, older receivers, older tight ends on the team. Mazeo caught a lot of passes in big situations, and I'm going to kind of break down some film and show you what was going on and why this guy is so versatile from the slot position. Okay, Maze's first ever touchdown here comes early in the season. It's 1st and 10 from kind of shot play range is what I call this. In between the 30 and the 20 is typically where offensive coordinators like to try to take some chances with the ball, drawing up their specific kind of their good plays. They're plays that they haven't shown much on film. When they get into this area, it's kind of like, all right, I want to throw my best play at them, the play that we don't run that much, that the team's going to be a little bit surprised for. So they've got this trips left, balls on the right hash, plenty of field over here, and Kentucky loves to play cover 3. This corner here, it's got the deep third. This corner's got the deep third, and one of these two safeties will play the middle of the field. One of them will probably drop down. So this is such a good play against cover 3. The outside receiver will run a post, and this inside receiver, which is Mazeo Bennett, will run a corner route. The most important thing is this player's on the ball, this player's off the ball. He's going super fast, and he's taking his time. And this is important to know as a young player. To get open against zone coverage, you have to make sure that you let the play develop. So he's going to run a post and try to take 2 guys with him, especially this guy. We're trying to get this guy out of position. You can see throughout this play, he's got his eyes in the wrong place. He's got his eyes on the receiver. Whenever you play a deep third zone coverage, your eyes need to be on the quarterback, and you're just supposed to stay in your zone. If he comes up to him and breaks inside, he's supposed to communicate with the safety and just pass this player off to him and pick up Maze. But this is a really good design because they bring the running back here, I believe, goes in the flat which is going to kind of take the attention to this player. He comes up. They both stay with the post, and Mays really does a good job of kind of sneaking out, taking his time, and getting to the open area. Really good design here from the pocket too, where Sellers kind of looks like he's going to look downfield from the pocket. He spins out, and he makes it an easier throw. So here we go, kind of that spin out, and Mays is wide open. It's really a bust in coverage by Kentucky, but you only get that bust in coverage if the player really knows the concept of the play and also what the team is trying to do. You can see here, this player's got his eyes on Rocket Sanders. This player's at least 5 yards in front of him, creating a good mesh and timing to this route. So he looks like he's wide open because the timing and the mesh between the receivers, boom, you got this. It's basically like a flood. You have this player separated by 10 yards. So he forgets about him. These guys are on this post route. You can see they're both looking at him, and this is bad defense by Kentucky because this player should be kind of sitting right here and passing this player off to the safety. But neither one of these defensive backs have their eyes in the right place. They should be looking at the quarterback. Instead, they're looking at the receiver, and that's why Mazeo was able to get wide open. Okay, this is the same kind of concept. They know, Carolina knows that Kentucky loves playing this deep zone with the cover three, where this guy's got this side of the field. They've got a safety back here who's got the middle, and this guy's got the other side. So we're going to try to move him with a player in here, and we're going to try to run him off with an outside receiver. And again, this is more of a wheel kind of corner route that Mays runs, but the most important thing is he's off the ball. These players are on the ball, so they're trying to get recognized right here. I think he's going to do a little stop route right here to take this guy's attention, and we're going to do the same thing. Mays to this side. Sellers does a really good job of getting away from a good blitz that we don't pick up. So you can see they bring a blitz off the right side. You have Simon here to pick it up. He doesn't pick it up, but thankfully 16 can really play football and can buy us a little bit of time. So they come off the edge here. Simon kind of misses bad. And this is kind of what Sellers sees, which is not the prettiest thing in the world. You got this guy coming downhill at you, within a couple yards. This player here is locked up with him, which is a good thing. And then you're seeing helmets. You're not seeing face masks. So these players they haven't learned their lesson. We're attacking this left side. This corner still doesn't really know what he's doing. So he needs to pass this off. And this player needs to take over on Jared Brown out here. But they don't do that. They both guard him. And look at Mays. He's just kind of sneaking out there. He understands where he's supposed to be. He understands where the zone is the weakest. And if we get more time here, luckily Sellers is such a good player that he's able to buy enough time. But these plays do take a little bit of time to run because this player can't run too fast and give himself away. He's got to let this player here run off these other defenders so he can move into that open area. But it's a good job by Sellers, and you can see both guys are guarding Jared Brown out here, and you get a wide open sideline, and it's a good throw by Sellers. Great job of buying a little time. And what I love about Mays, look at him sneaking out there, taking his time. And what I love about him is he catches the football. He knows he's not getting any more yards. So he catches the football here, and he knows he can only get so many yards against three defenders. So he gets as many as he can, shakes off a guy, and then when he knows the people are going to be coming around him, the defenders are getting close to him, he takes both hands and he wraps up the ball and just falls down. You're still a freshman, and that is an impressive thing. So we jump into the Alabama-South Carolina game. Huge play here on 4th and 9. It's 14-0. Things are really coming apart for South Carolina. They need a play. Beamer decides to go for it on 4th and 9. And look what set we're in. It's the same look as we had against Kentucky. Trips right. We have the ball on the left hash. So we have all this field. And if you look closely in this game on these kind of longer down and distances, Alabama has similar looks to Kentucky. So we went with the same exact play that we were doing against them. If you look here, players on the ball. Mays is here in the slot, closest to the quarterback, off the ball. He's got to take his time and work to the open area. Same concept. You got this player here. Sellers gets a good drop. Great protection here against a three-man rush with a spy. But a good job by the offensive line holding up. And you get a big play to number 3. This is why this guy is very impressive, because it's a young player in Tuscaloosa pulling off a touchdown on 4th and 9. It's a big deal. It really is. And if you look here, it's the same they kind of draw it up for you. It's a wheel. But this player needs to really stay down the boundary here. He should be responsible for him. But Mays does a good job of staying kind of towards the inside the hash here early. So this player kind of doesn't get a good read on him, doesn't get a good feel that he's moving into his zone. So he can feel like he can either attach to this player longer, or he can kind of bite up here where the sticks are. Because remember, it's 4th and 9. So when it's 4th and 9, they don't typically expect you to throw a super deep ball. They're thinking that, okay, we got to protect the sticks here. So it's a great call to take a chance on the road. You really have nothing to lose in this area of the field. It's just a really good call by Dow Loggins to run kind of your favorite play, the play that you've had success with, and you know this player runs it really good. He's sneaky. He's sneaky in these zones. So this is a better view here. So let's watch the play develop. So this guy gets hands on him. It's really a cover 2 is what it is. It's not a cover 3. But even in cover 2, if you have this player here, you don't need to be too greedy, especially when you have help in here. You don't need to be too greedy in here. Now, if he was farther out, I could see him, being baited a little earlier. But this really, he gets his eyes on the quarterback. The quarterback's looking straight here early, but he wants to throw this. So he brings the defenders up here with his eyes, and then he's going to hit him over the top. This safety's got to stay with Harbor, so he doesn't go over the top. And Mays just works it. This guy gets turned around. He's way behind the play. It really, if you're playing good zone defense, this player should move up here. He should keep his depth, even though he's in cover 2. But it's a really good call by Loggins. Great protection here, and a really nice ball from Lenoris, and just a huge play for a young player. So Ole Miss, South Carolina here, 27-3, 3rd and 10. Not a huge play, and probably the least important play I'm going to show you with Mays. But I wanted to make sure that we're aware of how good a feel this player has for playing the position. It seems like he does really good in this trips left set. It's really interesting what they got going on. I know it's 27-3, so right now it seems like they're just kind of trying things against a really good Ole Miss defense that they had last year, because they've got number 4, who's Michael Smith out here, freshman tight end, and then it looks like Vendravius Jacobs in the slot position here. But Mays is right here, and when you have a really good feel in the slot, it really can torment these players if you know what you're doing. So he sees that it's 3rd and 10 here, but they're kind of super off and soft coverage here, so they're trying to guard against the sticks. But I really would like you to see what Mays does here. You can already see Sellers is looking early. He is expecting him to work this zone very well. So he's just going to run a stop route, and usually on a stop route, you'll run it up to 7, back to 5, come back to the football, and turn and run with the ball. But because he knows they're in super soft zone coverage, he just wants to get the ball and get upfield and get as many as he can. So instead of running a perfect route, he just kind of takes a few steps, gets his head around quick. This player's broken outside with here. There's some space in there, and he knows it. And watch what happens when he gets the football. He gets it, bang, makes a move, and gets as many as he can, gets a first down. Okay, so this is my favorite play that Mazeo had this season. It's 2nd and 6, ball's on the right hash, 36 seconds left in the first half. Texas A&M just went up 20-17 in Willie B. So the reason that these plays, most of them, except for the Ole Miss play, are so impressive to me because they all come in big situations where you really, really need someone to step up and make a play. It seems like when they need that person, it's always number 3, and it doesn't matter what the coverage is. We've just watched a good bit of film on plays where he did really well against zone coverage. This is against A&M. Like I said, 2nd and 6 here. They like to play a lot of man. They like to be aggressive with their front, and they have a lot of confidence in these players in the back end. Ball's on the right hash here. Mazeo is split out pretty wide for a slot position. He's got off coverage here, but we know that it's man-to-man. Everybody's locked up on a receiver right here. This player's got Simon. But the important thing is you've got a split here that creates some space here. Also, this player is, you can tell that he's got this left foot, inside foot up. Therefore, he's trying to make Mays take an outside release. His only job in this instance is to not let him cross his face. Another interesting thing, and this is why Mazeo's somewhat different than most wide receivers. If you look here, this player has their inside foot up. This player has his inside foot up, which is typical for playing the position. There are receivers who switch it up depending on which route they're going to be running. But typically, if you're running a slant, you have your outside foot up, you take 3 steps, and on that 3rd step, you break to the inside on the slant. This 3rd step, it gives the quarterback an indicator of when you're going to break. So he's looking for those 3 steps. On that 3rd step, he's going to let it go, and you're going to try to get across his face. The reason Mays is different is because he goes against all the traditional indicators that defensive backs look for. So he's so used to playing in the slot. He did it in high school. He prefers this position, and it's a really good position for him because you have multiple ways you can go. When you're outside, there's not a lot of room out, and more than likely, either you're going to go on a go route if you're going outside from this position. So he's got the whole field to play with, and this is what he likes to do. He's got his outside foot up. Therefore, if a DB sees that, he's not typically thinking that he's going to run a slant. Even though the most important thing for this player is to keep Mays from crossing his face. You can tell by this stance that he's in with that inside foot up. So he doesn't want him to cross his face. And typically, like I said, with the slant route, you take 3 steps. On that 3rd step, you go to the post, and you try to get across their face. He's got his outside foot up, which is already something that's different about what most receivers kind of stay to. So we run it here. They get a blitz from the safety here. He's coming downhill, but he's still got a huge cushion. And I really love the way Mazeo attacks kind of this inside leverage a little bit with this off coverage. You don't want to start when he's off here. You don't want to start this route outside, because it's so easy for him to just keep that leverage on the inside. So you want to kind of angle your route towards the middle of the field, but you don't want to give away that you're going to get in there. So you're just kind of accidentally going inside. And another thing is, he doesn't really give the quarterback an indicator when he's going to break. So he almost runs what I would call a speed slant. So a speed slant or a speed out, you don't plant with your outside foot. You plant with your inside foot, and you kind of round this route, which is not typical, but it's not typical for a DB, a defensive back, what they're trying to read. So traditionally, he's thinking, okay, when he sticks this outside foot in the ground, I'm going to break here. But he never does that. He never gives him that indication. So he's able to not only catch the ball on this slant, but because of how he rounds this slant off, he's able to get enough depth and make the first down as well. So attacks him, boom. Right there, kind of rounds the play, the route. I know it kind of looks like he broke on that foot, but if you look just a split second before, so if you look right here before he gets to that next step, this is actually the foot that he's somewhat cutting off of, which is just inside foot, which tells it's not giving this guy an indication, and it gives him a step extra to get across this DB's face and make the first down. So this step is sort of pushing to the inside. He's not running straight here. Pushes to the inside, and boom. He's got somewhat of leverage here, and this is why he's so tough and just a quarterback's dream, honestly, because it's such an easy throw that Sellers has for this window. And I want you to see how Mazeo attacks this football with his hands and takes a really hard shot here from the defensive back. That is a great catch, and the guy tried to break his neck. So he attacks inside, boom, hands. Dude tries to break his neck, and he still fights through it for the first down, holds on to the ball all with his hands. And this is the kind of player that will just do everything for the team. He really lays it out all on the line, and I expect him to continue to get stronger and be able to adapt to the SEC game a little bit more. That would probably be my only critical aspect of his game, is that he was a young freshman last year. He was undersized, so he was injured sometimes. He didn't have long instances where he didn't play, but he did get hurt on those kind of plays. I mean, that was a hard hit, but he had a few of those. But this is what happens when you're fearless. You know, you get hurt sometimes. So that would be the only thing that I would say that he needed to improve on, you know, get his body right. And I'm sure he has. They got a great training staff, maybe the best in the country at Carolina. So I really look at him to take a step forward. So in closing, I would just say that this player is really going to break out this year. I'm super stoked that he's on Carolina's team, and I look for him to really help Sellers out this year, and for them to be a kind of that deadly combination on crucial plays. He had many crucial plays. Numbers weren't off the charts. 30 receptions, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a solid freshman year. That's not, going to be all SEC, but I really look for all these numbers to double, and then all the plays that he had, I would say 50% of them were big, huge moments where we really needed a play. And that was kind of the overall theme to his freshman year. And if you double these numbers here, I think he'll at least double the amount of crucial plays that kind of continue drives, score touchdowns in huge moments. Whenever you need a play, you need to go to number 3, and I think Sellers will, because he trusts him, and he's only going to get better. And I really look for Mazeo to up his game in the screen game this year, running with the football, catching short passes and turning them into very, very solid gains. Last season, we had a decent amount of depth at the receiver position. Maybe not a ton of output, people would argue, but I really think that room was a little better than people gave credit to them, just because they had so much depth. One game was Delvon Campbell, one game was Bennett, one game was Jared Brown, one game was Nick Harbor. So they all played pretty good. We didn't have a ton of drops, but also last year, Mazeo was consistently fighting for playing time. They also brought in Gage Larvidan, who played the same position as Mazeo and is a good player. He's doing really good things up for the Cleveland Browns right now. But those two kind of battled it out throughout the season, and that also kind of affected how many targets that Mazeo received. So now he's going to be kind of the upperclassman that had a good season last year, and he's going to be battling with some of these freshmen. I know, we've got a lot of publicity through these freshmen. Everybody wants the new thing. Everybody wants to have a new player to get excited about. But don't forget about Mazeo. He was extremely important and crucial in having a good last year. So I look for his production to improve tremendously. I look for him to be an all-SEC player. I don't know if it'll be first team, but he'll be in the top 3 teams as a slot receiver. And I really look for him throughout the year to consistently be a pillar to the offense, and also to be kind of that tone setter, kind of like Deebo Samuel was. Be that tone setter for the offense to hold everybody accountable, be a very good leader of this team, because he's completely capable. He always goes about his business, and I look for him to be a little bit more vocal on this team. And very excited to see Mazeo this year. We're getting super close to football season. I think 13 days from today, Carolina kicks it off. So super excited for the season, getting more and more excited, getting less and less skeptical, which happens this time of year. Carolina's going to have a good offense this year, and I can't wait to watch it. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, like or subscribe, send me some feedback, send me a comment. Just getting this whole channel going. I appreciate everybody looking at the videos, and I'm going to try to put them out as much as I can, and can't wait for football to start. Thank you, guys.